My name is Jojo, and this is my book response. The first book I'm talking about is The Name Jar by Young Suk Choi. It talks about a girl named Yun Hei has moved to America with her family. Her grandma gave her a wooden stamp with her Korean name carved in it. On her way to school, kids around her began to make fun of her name, and she felt very embarrassed. So when she introduced herself in class and she said she hasn't picked a name yet, Yunhei wanted to have an American name so she can be the same as her American peers. Because and her classmates prepared a lot of names for her to choose from a jar. At last, she decided to officially introduce herself with her Korean name, Yunhei. Based on this book, I think I will have an activity at the beginning of the semester to celebrate my students' name and their meanings. I will invite each student to introduce their names both in English and their home languages, and also their meanings of their names. And also I will create a name wall in class with names written in their home languages and scripts. I think it's a good way to acknowledge their cultural background, because names are kind of like symbols of cultural identities. And this book reminds me of my personal experience. You see, my name is Jojo, and just like Yunhei, it's kind of a little bit weird in pronunciations. So when I was young, I wanted to have an American name, because I think it is kind of cool and easy for others to pronounce. But gradually, I changed my ideas. My name is who I am, and it makes me unique and easy to remember, actually. And also, my name means everything goes smoothly in Mandarin. The second book I'm going to talk about is Count Me In. It talks about a girl named Karina, and she launched a campaign to fight racial hate on social media. When she had a walk outside with her best friend Chris and her grandpa, Mr. Chopra, her grandpa was attacked by a stranger due to racial hatred. Karina consistently sharing photos she took about this accident and gradually start a media movement with a hashtag Count Me In. It had unexpectedly huge impact, and more people just joined the campaign. This book, I think, is a good, excellent resource for starting a discussion about racism and inclusivity with higher grade students, and also it can foster their critical thinking skills. After students reading this book, I will ask them, if you had the same experience as Karina, what would you do? And do you think social media is a good way to combat racial hatred? Students can discuss and share their thoughts in class with their rationales. And also, for supporting their cultural background and immigrant experience, I think I will lead the class to design our own campaign, like to welcome immigrants, students, or the theme can be like foster and inclusivity. Like their experience and cultural backgrounds are valued and acknowledged in my class. The third book I'm going to talk about is Watercress by Andrea Wong. The book talks about an Asian American girl who lives in Ohio with her family. And one day, when they passed by a cornfield, they saw some watercress in a muddy ditch. So mom and dad just made the girl and her big brother to help collect the watercress. The girl just felt so embarrassed for raging from a ditch instead of buying food from the grocery store. So she felt ashamed. She even felt ashamed of her Chinese heritage, like which makes her family different from others in Ohio. So that night, when she just refused to eat the watercress, then her mom told her the painful story behind the watercress. It's about her mother's childhood memory. Her mother's brother died in the Great Famine in China. So, to her mother, watercress is more than a kind of veggie. It is a symbol of family memory. Then the girl began to understand and connect with her family's history and cultural identity. I think no matter if you are an immigrant or not, it is our responsibility to understand our family memory and stories. So in my class, I will invite students to introduce and share their favorite traditional food with the whole class. And such traditional food is filled with their family memory and their cultural memory. I think it's a good way to acknowledge and respect their cultural background and their immigrant experience. And what's more, one of the ways to support immigrants is actively listening to their stories and family memories. So in my class, I want to invite these students can share their family stories to the whole class. Or if the memories are about trauma or any tragedies, they don't want to share it in public. They can write it down and draw pictures on the paper. So these are the 3 books I read in this assignment. I think it's a very, very rewarding reading journey. I reflect more on my personal immigrant experience. And more important, it makes me have an empathy for my students in my future class. Thank you.